I had a question. Do you think, Joe, about do you think that Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy will really be able to have an effect on things?
I'm interested to see. Elon is a very pushy man. Once he gets an idea in his head, it's very difficult to get him off of it. I'm interested to see if they can do anything. I'm interested to see what the reaction is to it too. Like what kind of resistance is there to them trying to change things
by the actual government elected officials? Yeah,
that's going to be interesting too. Like sometimes you find out more by resistance than you do from like we did with we were talking about on the other podcast, the Trudeau thing with the truckers in Canada. When he went after the people that donated money to the truckers and he closed their bank accounts, that's crazy fascism.
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, that's crazy tyrannical overreach. That's like really dangerous authoritarian government tactics. You close the bank accounts of people who donated to a peaceful protest. And so sometimes like in resistance, you get to see what someone's really about.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see. Well, they already tried to kill him.
I know 2 times. I think even after that, they're like, we got to let him keep going.
That's the other weird one about the killing him thing, the trying to kill him, is there's all these connections. This is the big tinfoil hat conspiracy thing. Mm-hmm. They're all connecting him to Fort Bragg. So there's 3 connections to Fort Bragg. There's this guy who blew himself up, allegedly, in the Tesla. There's the dude who tried to kill Trump on the golf course. He had visited Fort Bragg 100 times. There's... one other one. What's the other one?
Is it the New Orleans guy?
Yeah. The New Orleans guy. Yeah, that's right.
That's heartbreaking.
The New Orleans guy who ran over those people in the street, that guy's from Fort Bragg as well. And so...
I'm praying for those groups. It's fucking
what people are really terrified of is the idea of mind control, and that they train people that are very vulnerable, people that are all fucked up. They train these people to become hitmen and terrorists. And there was an undercover camera thing. I'll send this to you, Jamie, because you see it and you're like, what the fuck? These are real people? Where this guy is explaining how they do this. And he's explaining how they take people and push them over the edge.
Oh, yeah?
People that are maybe like a little bit lost, and they give them a nudge to get them to do things.
Well, it all makes sense. I mean, just like religion can find you, or just like...
sure, the government can find you when you're vulnerable.
Yeah, something can find you when you're vulnerable.
Well, that's the kid that shot Trump. That's what a lot of people think that is, too. The tinfoil hat conspiracy is that they found this very vulnerable kid. He did a BlackRock commercial, and then, a year and a half later, or whatever it was, he's shooting at Trump off of a roof.
Yeah.
So listen to this. So CIA agent explains how the government baits and tricks mentally unwell social media users into committing crimes they wouldn't normally commit. And so it says you set them up.
You create the situation to where they have no choice but to act on their impulse. And once they act on that impulse, then we call that entrapment. We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens, right?
And how does that happen?
You put a post out there, or you have someone fake profile say something that we know is going to trigger them, right? Like, we already know your history. If we're to that point, we already know everything about it. So we're like, oh, this will piss them off. Sometimes you light the fuse and just wait for it to follow.
Yeah.
Nothing like putting out a fake social media thing to like really get people mad. Post fake news. Sometimes it's not fake.
That's
it's
crazy.
A little bit.
So this is the guy's name is Gavin O'Blennis, and says CIA contracting officer, former FBI, San Diego. Like, is that to protect or serve? Like, what is that for? You imagine that government money is being spent to manipulate vulnerable people into doing things that they wouldn't ordinarily do? That's crazy.
I could totally imagine that. I mean, that's what's
Why
scary
is
about...
it always these chatty gay guys that get busted?
Well, this guy, obviously, it seems like was trying to flirt with whoever he's talking to me. And I'm not saying the guy...
That's always what it is
enjoys buddies or whatever. I'm just saying it seemed like that to me.
Yeah, chatty gay guys. That's how they keep busting them.
Yeah.
They get hot guys on Grindr to go meet up with chatty gay guys.
Yeah.
I wonder how they set that up. I wonder if you have to have a bunch of verified fucks in order for people to take you. Like, where's your blue check mark?
You got to be really gay, buddy.
You got to get a pink check mark. Someone's fucked you. All right, this guy's legit.
Oh. And you think there's a lot of people being fake gays or whatever to help the government?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. All that James O'Keefe stuff. Back when he was at Project Veritas, they'd always bust these gay guys.
James O'Keefe, the author? No.
No, the investigative journalist.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Very controversial investigative journalist that does these undercover ops where he gets one of his guys to wear a camera.
I'm thinking of Robert O'Keefe, I think.
I don't know who you're thinking of. But James O'Keefe was with Project Veritas. Now he's got his own thing. What is it called?
The James O'Keefe's OMG something? Right?
OMG, right? O'Keefe Media Group.
Yeah.
And so
looking into this guy, might
be a bullshit artist.
He might have been lying just so he could get laid, you know?
That's what I felt like 100%. This guy seems like...
just what someone claimed to look into him and said he didn't work there.
He's VA employed, advanced medical support assistant. Okay, it says this guy's my age. He was checking in patients at the VA when I started as an FBI agent, and that was 10 years older than many. In 2022, he was a secretary at the FBI. Be skeptical, people, geez.
Yeah.
So he might be just, well, it seemed like he was. But also, he probably does know how they do it. Maybe he's not even saying that he does it because he has a low position, but if he's explaining how the FBI does it, and he does work for the FBI...
It makes sense. Do you think we can trust our FBI anymore?
I think you can trust some of them. But the FBI is like people, and people in positions of power. They get corrupted. Some do get corrupted. Some are great patriots. It's just like everything else, man.
And the CIA, the same thing?
I think with every fucking group of people that are in power that don't have a lot of oversight, or where the organization itself has been corrupted. You know, there's a lot of people that think the FBI back in the day, not the same people alive today, of course, but they had something to do with Martin Luther King's assassination.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that think they had something to do with Malcolm X's assassination and
Kennedy.
Yeah. There's a lot of fucking theories, and I don't know the truth. I don't know the truth. But when you look in the January 6th thing, and you said that didn't they admit they had 26 agents there? Is that what they admitted to, Jamie? Because it's the most recent discussion about what actually took place in January 6th. Like, how many of those people?
This article is talking about this is 20.
20.
I just wonder
20 agents.
What starts to happen if as a society you don't believe and trust in. I believe that the trust overall in government and government and authority and in America really as a whole is kind of starting to dissipate.
Along with the trust in the media. So
right.
At the same time.
So then where has that ever happened in history? And then I'm sure it has. And where do we go from here?
Well,
I guess
we've
it's
never lived in
too
a
big
time.
of a question.
When you say, has it ever happened in history? I mean, sure, things have fallen apart before, but has it ever come back together again? Maybe not, but maybe it didn't have the internet back then.
Right.
So what people are looking at, like with Trudeau resigning and Trump winning, and then, you know, all this talk of Robert Kennedy getting in, the Make America Healthy Again movement, like that we might be able to see legitimate change this go around. Like with Vivek and Elon being in charge of government efficiency, we might be able to see. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful for the first time in a long time. But I'm curious to see what can actually get done.
Who do they have to answer to, Vivek and Elon? Who did they have to first present stuff to? Somebody said it was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is that true, or somebody made that up?
It is. They're in.
I met her at a party, actually.
Yeah? Did you?
I didn't know that it was her. I don't know like a ton about politics, but it was definitely interesting, though.